In that message, he said, "Peace, be still," but he did not say, "Quiet, be still," for he did not want us to be quiet. We will experience peace, but that's the reason why he used the word peace, be still. For we are to speak out and share that peace with others for the sake of the Prince of Peace. That is a magnolia, and a magnolia means that which falls from the sky. Aren't they pretty? That's a magnolia tree. And they're off. That Bonanza or something. All right, got another assignment. Food for friends. Guess I'm headed past Grapevine. I got a big story about this hospital, this Baylor Scott and White. Baylor Scott and White, I gotta take my hat off to them. They actually were behind the birthing process of all three of my children, and my second wife. I'm not going to use names all the time, but anyway, my second wife, who I'm no longer with now, went to Baylor Scott White for all three children, actually in Irving. We probably had the best gynecologist and birthing doctor, I would say, in the nation. He seemed just very relaxed about the whole aspect of, us, of course, having the kids. There was like no pressure at all in, my end on the birthing, but I'm sure my second wife felt the pressure. But we didn't do like at home birth. We actually went into the hospital because my second wife had she was born with a special condition, and she also had another condition called neurocardiogenic syncope, which causes you to pass out, which, believe it or not, during a pregnancy, she was quite normal. Because of the blood pressure change of the pregnancy, she was actually healthier pregnant, which most women are. During the pregnancy, they're very healthy because of the blood flow. There's more blood flow and things like that. But our family doctor, or I guess I don't know what you call them, gynecologist. The birthing doctor, the doctor that, there's a name for it, obstetrician, OB, whatever. The OB was very good. He was very, very intelligent. So we had all the proper medicines that we needed, and everything was done through a healthcare program for women. And all 3 children popped out very nicely. The first one, of course, my son, took about an hour of pushing. I have to go back and check my notes on when he came out. I want to say it was late at night, or early morning, I think is how they say it. I think I was an early morning baby too, but I think maybe he might have come out in the middle of the night. I have to go back and look. I'll let you know. But the second one that came out, which was the daughter, she popped right out. I remember I was pretty nervous, so I wanted to be very astute. So I went to go get some coffee. By the time I came back, I didn't even have a chance to sip on that coffee, and that baby was out. Now the third baby, which is one of my favorites that I don't really know that well, because I only got to raise her up to 3 months. I raised all the other kids up to about 5 or 6 years, because things happen. But the third baby was my favorite, because it was one push. That baby came right out. Very, very, very enjoyable one. But there was some blood pressure issues with the mother, which was my second wife, and it was a close call. So, but because of preeclampsia and things like that. So, but we got 3 of them out, and they're running around here somewhere. But I just wanted to say that about Baylor Scott White. And the reason I mentioned Baylor Scott White was because when I was 15, I broke my ankle in 2 different places skateboarding. It was a spiral fracture, pretty intense break. And I was in a pretty serious cast for about 6 months. And I had to go through therapy at that Baylor Scott White that I passed. And that was a different one. When we birthed the babies, that was at the one in Irving. That's the Baylor Scott White that's I guess kind of closer to the South Lake area, but it's a very, very good hospital. So we're doing like an after Sunday school rush. I wanted to show you some of the organizations that you can do with these amazing bags. So here, I'm only doing like 3. So what I usually do, we got 3 things here. I'll stick one of these in here. Kind of goes in that way, so I kind of squeeze it. An extra one here, and sometimes I can cover this like that. So you're getting that coverage here. And I close it. My recommendation on these is always to get the bags. You want to make sure these bags are brilliantly designed. NASA did it, I don't know. Okay, I've been here before at night, and this is actually Crescent Royal. This is very, very nice area, not too far from South Lake. But this is very, very pleasant, the way that they have this set up, and it's very kind of royalty thing, and you have these like little security, I guess they've used those before. And then we're gonna have some ducks coming out like right here. It's basically like a little duck pond right here. It's a very, very nice neighborhood. And I mean, Castle Hill has some nice ones over where I'm at, where I broadcast from in Carrollton. But South Lake does have some impressive neighborhoods. And this one actually has a golf course. So it does kind of have a royalty feel, a little bit like Castle Hills, only it's called Crescent Court. And there's a little sand trap. They don't have a dragon like they do at Castle Hills, but they do have they have these little things right here. And those are sand traps back there, and these are really nice, these little things right here. And then when you get into the neighborhood, it's like Tudor homes, like Villa on the Promenade, like a Chandon Court kind of thing. This is really nice. I actually kind of got lost over here one time because it was so pretty at night. It's very, very pretty at night. This is like a big palm tree. that I just had to start vlogging immediately, like I usually do. This is cool because it's a little court right in the middle of the neighborhood here, and you're seeing a very nice house right down there. And this one was a really cool, I think I vlogged it here. So you've got these things right here, these people, this little statue of this house right here, old school Mercedes. It's just very, very pretty. Up here is called Avon Terrace, and we're on Regency Crossing. That's where I got lost one time. Regency Crossing, and then Waze is mad at me. We got a gazebo. That's the word I was looking for the other day. Gazebo. Waze is really mad. Gazebo right here, and then another statue right here, which is really pretty. I really like that one right there. It's just kind of in action. It's got that Romanesque, kind of Greco-Roman. Usually if it's in action, then it's Roman. If it's more stable and upright and more general, then it's Greek. Because the Romans were real big about action, you know, like the statues being in action. And that's where they come with the term Romanesque, is meaning it's from the Roman era kind of stuff. So if the statue's moving and flowing, it's usually going to be Roman. And the Greeks are very, everything's up and straight and down and very broad and general, more. So once again, this is the Crescent Court area. Very nice, and the trees. I really like this house with how the garage is right down that way. Just the whole aspect of that house is just very, very beautiful. You can see here those trees right there, almost like a red color kind of thing. And then I gotta give this food for friends, but I'm gonna show you this thing up here. That's the house that I wanted to look at. It's at the very end of this court. It's very kind of complex. You've got the first gate there and the secondary, the Tudor style roofs and everything. That's really cool. I like the depth of field within the house. You got the front part here and the back and how it stacks up there. It's really nice. Looks like a little guard station too, which that's for a house, you know? I mean, I can understand. This is like the main entrance here to Crescent Courts. But what's cool is you got like almost like a guard station right there on that side of the house. I haven't seen that before. That's an actually really cool design. If I were gonna design a house, I'd have something with like a gate and then a little post, almost like a guard post kind of thing. Then you have the opening and stuff. Just very nice overall. And then you have the depth of field when you're looking at it too. That's one of my favorites on this little court right here. Crescent Court alone would be just a really good vlog. Another one that's good, of course, is Castle Hills, which Linda and I got to do the other day. We only went through just a part of it. That's really nice too. You got these little guys right here. And I like this court when you come in. Can't really see them that well, but this court right here is really cool too. just the opening part of the court. And then you just have to drive down this long kind of road. I guess it is a road. It's a winding road, passing Regency. Those are magnolia trees right there. Villa Promenade is what they call it, or Villa Promenade. Now these are getting really into the Tudor homes. That's the house that I just vlogged earlier right there, about 50 seconds now. You've got a whole entrance here. These are really nice houses. You gotta get on a go-kart coming through. But then you have like an entrance right over this way. And I want to kind of go by these houses right here. It kind of shows you just the texture of everything. You're almost getting into like a French style, Baroque almost Baroque. If you look at the poles right here, the poles twisting, like almost like a French style Baroque, Versailles kind of thing, or however you pronounce it, leave a comment. And you're gonna get into another really nice one that's more of like English style Tudor kind of house there. The gray one's getting more modern, kind of modern out of inertia kind of thing. This right here is cool too. I like this little cactus kind of thing. Really nice ones. You're getting the Adam the Woo style background noise, or Cole Spivey short film background from now until morning. Noise of the wind, the blowing of the leaf blower, which is becoming kind of like a modern sound. If you think of the helicopters in Apocalypse Now, it's like the leaf blowers taking over. Look at this stuff right here though. That's a big magnolia tree right here. That's really nice right there. So I promise to come back probably pretty soon, and we'll try to vlog some of these areas. It's really nice, really nice. I'm gonna pass by this way. They're doing gardening work. There's a lot of magnolia trees. That's actually a really big one right there, magnolia. That which falls from the sky. And some of these houses actually have names on it, which is really English, because the English, they actually, oh, it's a nice car right there too. The English actually have a name for some of their houses. That's how you find their house. They actually have a name. I like this Greco-Roman kind of entrance with it's Garden of Eden kind of entrance, right there. And you can see the little pond right back that way. Isn't that cool? Isn't that something? And there's another one right here. Like a dang real estate agent. This is just real. You go into these places and all of a sudden you're just captivated on the texture of these houses. You just become kind of captivated. And this is all one road that's leading in to Crescent Court. There's Glendover. So the neighborhoods are starting to be like, your neighborhood is named kind of thing. But the whole thing is called Tamaron County Club off the Byron Nelson Parkway. And what we were in earlier was Crescent Court, but that's actually Tamaron is the neighborhood. There's really nice ones up that way too. They even have palm trees and stuff. That's actually Versailles right there. You ever been there? Near Paris, France. Not too far from that. So Louis XIV escaped and decided to build a palace to escape just all the politics that was going on at the time. And he built this beautiful palace, which he wanted to be kind of like paradise version of perfection, kind of in a way. If you ever go to the Palace of Versailles, it's where Louis XIV kind of went to exile and got away from his enemies and lived there for a while. That was called South Lake of Versailles. Ooh, that's nice right there. Garden thing right there. So 7-Eleven now is they're actually doing a thing where you put in your I guess your phone number or whatever your code is for your app at the station, and you get 10 cents off. Pretty good. I'm gonna eat my yummy hot dog, and they had a pizza deal and this yummy Powerade. Slurp that up. Premier Martial Arts. Wonder if they know about Cobra Kai. I just got an assignment, so I'm gonna have to slurp this down before it gets cold. So I don't know if you'll be able to watch me this time, but you can just imagine me eating it in your noggin, your creative noggin, and the creative noggin that God gave me. Oh, there's Apple, pretty busy today. They usually have like a full load. Boy, that pizza was kind of, yeah, I don't know, it had jalapenos on it. I never noticed that, like, father and son. I'm gonna look at that statue eventually. It's right here in the South Lake Square. It's amazing because this is where I was raised, but none of this stuff was here when I was growing up. It's all been added recently, so it's brand new. It says 2021 grads. The future is yours, city of South Lake. This thing right here is actually pretty cool. It's like a kiosk or something. I don't know exactly what it is, but it's pretty cool looking. Advertising thing, I think. Make sure I get all that pizza, or you know, the pizza gets like right here. Oh. Drive by Apple again, kind of get a bird eye. It's a cool building, mostly glass on the outside. With the wood, they're really big about wood at Apple. You know, like displaying stuff on wood and stuff like that, which is really good. Okay, so that is, you can't see it, but that right there is the Cheesecake Factory, and behind that is the Harkins Theater, which is an older theater that probably started this whole. There's the Harkins right there. Then we're gonna be coming up to a Barnes and Noble right here. That's a Barnes and Noble right there. So I believe it's 2 or 3 floors. I want to say it's, I know for sure it's 2 floors. I actually turned her down, but she wanted to vlog with me, and I was like, no. I already found someone that's prettier. That is it. Well, that's what I'm looking for now. It's a sushi place. But anyway, I finally found it. But Apple's right here. There's Federal Way, which is Couch and Fossil. You've got J. Crew. It goes on and on and on, almost like every single one. I guess I didn't see that, so I had to spin around, so I got a little bit of vlogging time. But you can see Fossil right here. Johnny Was. There's Fossil right there. And Sephora right there. There's Sephora. Bradley Cooper's dad worked for them. And that's Lucky Brand Jeans right there. I gotta find a place to park though. Pick up this sushi. My goodness, everybody's here on one Sunday. It's Soma Intimates is that one right there. But I guess I could pull around maybe behind it. And there is a West Park parking spot right by Lucky Brand Jeans right here, which should be okay to park maybe. Linda just sent me a text of a tree stump. I'm trying to figure out what in the world that was about. One time she sent me a text of trying to figure out what in the world that was about. I guess it was. One time she sent me a text of I guess it was like a slice of mesquite turkey that she sliced, because we do a cooking show. We've done 3 cooking shows, and she sliced some mesquite turkey and sent me a photo of it, I guess for the texture or something. I was like, what is this? You know, it looked very strange, like some odd organ or something, but it was from one of those mesquite or those turkey slicers, you know, where they slice the whole turkey into little sandwich slices. It's a little slice of a turkey. I used to actually work in a deli a long time ago at Albertsons. I worked at Albertsons Deli when I was younger. If you follow some of my Samsung stuff, I do a lot of long vlogs of this actual area right here, quite a bit. I go through kind of past where Apple is, Lucky Brand. Sephora. It's a pretty nice place for makeup and makeup kind of stuff. There's Fossil Authentic. Actually, it's a really good idea for a watch. There's Johnny Was. It's mostly kind of posh. J. Crew. Passing Federal Way right now. Maybe I'll be the first to live stream South Lake area. All along. Hey. Okay. There's a Japanese place, Oziki, which is a sumo wrestler term. There it is. I'm gonna go around this way. Arigato or something. Arigato. They told me how to say thank you. I think it sounds like arigato, but leave a comment. I said kamsahamnida. Kamsahamnida. Or kamsahamnida, which is actually Korean. And they're Japanese. So they say arigato or something like that. If you know how to pronounce it, leave a comment. I'd love to hear how you can pronounce Japan or Japanese saying thank you. No, I was just joking there. No, but seriously, leave a comment if you want to say something about Japanese. Korean food's very different though, because it's kept mostly like underground, and it's they have kimchi in Korean food, but in Japanese, it's very much on fire. So they put a lot of things. They cook a lot of things in the hibachi, or it's on, you know, like they use fire to cook a lot of Japanese. With Korean, you have kimchi, which is they marinate a lot of stuff. It's kind of like more of like a vinegar taste in Korean, but they use a lot of greens in Korean too. It's more, I guess you could say, it's kind of healthier in. Well, Japanese, they'll use a lot of pork and meat, types of meats. It's not like kimchi, but it's still good though. But there is a difference between Japanese food and Korean. If you'd like to maybe leave comments about that. And also how you say thank you in Japan. But you say thank you in Korean, 감사합니다. 감사합니다. Gotta park in the parking lot and make a little vlog. These are probably going to be the second part series, coming up under two separate vlogs. This will probably be the second part series coming up in 2 in one day. I have posted, if you follow my channel, sometimes I will post 2 vlogs in one day. I think one of them was like 50 minutes, the other one was like 40 minutes or something. So I try to do that as much as I can. Although it's a little easier to get one vlog up. Of course, these are edited vlogs, not like my Samsung, where they're unedited. But I will try to get both of them up for you. Wanted to show you that that's actually a Macy's right there, Market Macy's, the same South Lake Square as earlier, so it's the same South Lake Square. You know, I'm so grateful that I actually did choose theater arts, you know, as my major. Last night I turned in an application to be a theater arts teacher, and I thought, you know, because I got into banking, so I was in banking for about 4 years and did really well. But if I would have went to business school, my mom left my dad when I was 9, but my mom married someone else, and they ended up having kind of a fascination with the North, and even visiting New York. I even visited New York when I was 12, and my friend, a good friend of mine, his family was from Queens, and I'd go up there and visit when I was like, you know, 18. And then I had a girlfriend that went to NYU Tisch, and well, she was a friend girl, but she went to NYU Tisch for a while. She knew Natalie Z, the movie star Natalie Z, and I had all these connections in New York. And if I would have done so well in business, I could have been in the World Trade Center, you know, that day of 9/11. And I'm just lucky that I wasn't. I mean, I'm lucky that I chose theater arts, and that I got to study mime and go to the actor studio and stuff like that. I was lucky that that happened. Okay, missed it. Linda called me and the airplane came right by, and I missed it because I like these low-flying airplanes. Now this is pretty cool. I'm gonna leave the engine going on this one right here. This is really nice. This is actually very modern. It says High Court on it, so that's the street name. But I want to kind of give an idea of what this is like. This is on the tail end of South Lake, not too far from Perry's. These are kind of like modern art structure. This is also kind of style that I'd like to have as another house, like a Tudor home, and then something cool like this. But this is amazing structure and design. And look how the door comes here. You got a door thing here, a door here, and then a door in the middle of it right here. Is that not cool? You have like a pool in the backyard. You can actually, they do have a pool. Oh my gosh, there's like a pool. You can see a pool in the backyard. It's cool. There's another low-flying plane. That is the coolest house. This one's even better. It's kind of stacked, even more modern. Those are really cool, how the roofs are. Plus, they're probably better with temperature control, helping through summertime when it gets hot. It's an awesome house. So that whole password sign in, you must use your ID, Apple ID and password. I think that's only going on right now. It was going on a little bit when I turn on the camera. It would ask me, and then I think it also did it when I was in I guess Apple iPod, which is this thing right here. So it was the I guess the Apple podcast. I always say iPod. Podcast, Apple Podcast. Yeah, so when I pull up the Apple Podcast, it starts, what's your, I can still get through it. I can just hit not now. But it's kind of annoying. I don't know if it's a glitch. If anybody wants to leave a comment. But then the same thing happens when I turn the camera on sometimes. So I don't know. That's the only thing. But I can just hit not now and continue on. I don't know if you can see it right here. You can kind of, there's all these willows all around. There goes a dove right there. You see all of them? There's one right there. See the willow? There's a movie called Willow with Val Kilmer. It's really good. That's really amazing right here. Is it inside the car? No, I don't think it's inside the car. You can see, there goes another one right there. I've been seeing them all day. I know you can see a lot of them right here. It works pretty good on bird's eye. Must be a willow tree. Oh, there's a bunch of them coming through. All right here. See if I can get, there goes that dove in the tree. You kind of see them. It's kind of magical. That's pretty amazing. Yeah, there's one that actually got into the car right here, but people are kind of in a hurry, even though you could probably go around, but pull it this way, just like that. Yeah, you can see one of them. Sometimes people kind of, they get kind of offended when you stop and look at the world. You know, they're offended that you found something that they don't see. So they get really kind of emotional about it. You know, like, I'm in a hurry, I gotta go on with my life. Not that I'm smelling the roses. You can see this one too, right here. See it right there? See it right there through that. Got another, oh, there's a lot of them right there. Because, you know, you go through life so much. You can see where it's all come down right here. There's another one that's passing right there. Side of the car right here. There's a lot of them. Yeah, this is where it's coming from. You can see them on the rooftop. It smells like snow. Those are willows. It's a bunch of them. You can make pillowcases out of that stuff. They can fill it with pillowcases. Right through here. Then you see this car covered in it right here. See the front part of the car covered and the hood. Right about here, you can see a lot of it right there. All along the car right here. All through here. Wow. It's not a whole lot. I'm sure there's more. Look at the rooftop though. It must be a willow tree somewhere near this area. That's a whole lot. I'm gonna go back through here. About 3 minutes of this. So we had 2 big vlogs coming through. That's an incredible amount of willows. You can see a lot of it all through here, just coming through the neighborhood. It's not an incredible amount, but what I'm seeing is quite a bit. Yeah, some of it even got, oh look, a Cessna. Yeah, the thing about people, I mean, they kind of understand that you're filming or you're vlogging something and they're not. So they kind of get a little more pushy than they would normally. Because, you know, you could just be turning on your hazards and trying to figure something out. But that was an interesting little willow tree moment. And not too bad. I mean, people kind of understood, you know, it's kind of slowing down. I saw this little thing right over here. Dishwasher. Oh, yeah. It's a pretty good one. Whirlpool. Give you an address, how? At least the address. But you're not gonna see this vlog until tomorrow, so. And today is 23rd, so if it's still there by tomorrow, come pick it up off of Pinery, and let's see if the Bluetooth lets me say it. Diamond Lake. So it is like Jordan does the sunglass vlog, that's a dishwasher vlog. Does the Patreon sunglasses vlog, that's the dishwasher vlog if you want to pick it up off of Diamond Lake, not too far from North Lake. Dishwasher. Cool flowers right here. They're really nice. It goes right into like sunflower types. And you've got the red ones. And someone with their dog. Here's the willows again. I think I swallowed a willow. It's kind of willowy. I'm just joking. I really have a smile like this. You know, it's interesting. I've been thinking about Quentin Tarantino quite a bit lately. I saw a special on Reservoir Dogs and how the producer went in and kind of discovered Quentin Tarantino, and his name will come to me sooner or later. Harvey Keitel eventually was the co-producer and decided to really make a heavy impact in the production of Reservoir Dogs, which could be one of the best films other than Taxi Driver that's out there. It could be one of the best films other than like Citizen Kane, kind of, you know, really great film. And I remember seeing Reservoir Dogs and was blown away when I was younger, just thinking, wow, this is amazing. How can cinema be this powerful? But regardless, when I was thinking about Quentin's style, and it brings me over into Pulp Fiction, which when I saw Reservoir Dogs, I was so blown away at just the reality of the acting and the pacing of the movie and the creative editing and the way the story unfolded, which is very new wave movement, a band of brothers kind of movement, brotherhood kind of thing, and Harvey Keitel making a major impact at that time, completely changing the way that we look at acting and storytelling. But the thing that got me is when I saw Pulp Fiction, it was so different that I walked out. I need to take a breather. I went back eventually and watched Pulp Fiction, and then I ended up liking it. And I think that year he won a screenplay award for Pulp Fiction. He should have won it for Reservoir Dogs. But when I think of Pulp Fiction, I think about the two kind of they blend together. I was thinking about God's divine intervention in gangsters. That's what I wanted to say. God's divine intervention in gangsters. Anyway, I got a call from Linda, and I was trying to make a point about Pulp Fiction. Something to do with Sprouts and the manager there harassing her. I don't know. You know how managers are. They pick on people. But anyway, back what I was talking about, Pulp Fiction. So with the dialogue and how the characters looked, which was kind of similar to Reservoir Dogs, is that they kind of look like angels in a way. And I've heard that before. And like what was inside the briefcase is something you're always trying to figure out. Was it the soul of Marsalis, if that's his name? Or was it something like, was it drugs? Was it gold? Was it money? What was inside the briefcase? And then they didn't get shot by the transgender guy or whatever in the bathroom. He comes out and he shoots and misses every shot. And they say, well, it's divine intervention, you know. The idea is, are they angels, you know, or, you know, there were the gangsters where God has intervened in their life, because in that style of life, there's close calls and God intervenes anyway. And then you have Samuel L. Jackson's character, Jules, give this monologue about, and I've looked through the Bible several times to find similar monologues or similar moments in the Bible, you know, that you don't transgress upon my brothers and sisters and all that stuff. And then he blows people away, and then you find out later that he was only saying that stuff for effect because he thought it was a cool thing to do before he executed somebody or whatever. But anyway, it makes me think about the guy that had the cross on his forehead that killed that poor stepdad, and the boy had to witness it. And I think that sometimes violence in Hollywood can affect people, you know. And I think what Quentin Tarantino has done is he's brought upon violence in the world today for the sake of art. But not in a violent way, because, you know, he's just using a film camera and a typewriter or however he wrote it, especially Reservoir Dogs. But it kind of makes me think, you know, is that era over? You know, can people return to that era of violence? Because it comes and goes in cinema. Taxi Driver was another. Martin Scorsese is, of course, another director that has used violence in cinema, and it's pretend violence. It's not real, but it does make a statement about life and sometimes our spiritual connections with things, because even the Bible brings about violence. I mean, look what happened with David and Goliath, you know. So storytelling is storytelling, but there is a style to every cinematic director, and on the way that they do things. Everybody has their own style of revealing how this world is, and it's not always kind. I think I had a better reaction with Reservoir Dogs rather than Pulp Fiction because of the brotherhood aspect of Reservoir Dogs. You have one guy that's a cop that's pretending like he's a gangster so that he can get the information to protect the world, or the innocent, or the innocents of the world, or I guess you could say the innocent, to protect those that, you know, that aren't really doing anything wrong. That, you know, like the people running a jewelry store shop or whatever. And he's pretending to protect the public, you know. But then you have one of the main gangsters, Mr. White, which I believe is Harvey Keitel, that sympathizes or at least appreciates Roth character. You know, man, I'm trying to drive here, but anyway, you have Keitel's character siding with what he thinks is his brother, which then he learns in the end when he does it, you know, and he shoots him, and then the cops come in and everybody gets shot in the Mexican standoff. You realize in the end that he was kind of a Judas Iscariot. So Keitel's character, I believe, is Mr. White, is actually the good guy in it, even though that he has to kill other people to get, you know, to get the, I guess, to get the diamonds, the heist. I guess they're all kind of bad guys. I guess they're anti-heroes or something. But they're the protagonist, I guess, is a better way. Not necessarily saying the good guy, but yet you do feel for him, even though he's a criminal. And the undercover police officer, I believe, is played by Tim Roth. You do also side with him too, because he's doing a job, and he has to go underground. You know, he has to go undercover, I guess, is a better, not underground. Anyway, I know Harvey Keitel is probably going to come around to this. I also know that Quentin Tarantino is probably in one way going to address Reservoir Dogs. I don't know if he's going to do it in his 10th film. I've been thinking, you know, is that what he is going to do in his 10th film? Will he, you know? I'm going to look up if that guy's name is Tim Roth, because I'm kind of like Harvey Keitel. I'm doing this all off the top of my head. Mr. White, is that correct, you know? No, there's Mr. Pink. Mr. Pink is really the only one that gets away. So it starts off with Mr. Pink. I don't know. I think it'd be cool if Quentin picked up with Reservoir Dogs, and then all of a sudden we see what Mr. Pink is doing. You know, he has the diamonds. He's had the diamonds for like 20 years. Kind of a little bit what he did in Kill Bill, and you know, the sequels of Kill Bill a little bit. But all those were closer together. This would be almost like, was it 20 years ago? Let's see, 97. Oh my God, it's almost more than 20 years ago. And then Mr. Pink has the diamonds. Oh, it's a cool classic car. And I was also thinking, like, you know, who's Mr. Blonde? Mr. White was Harvey Keitel. Then you have Mr. Brown is actually Quentin Tarantino. As I was thinking, which one was Mr. Brown? And it was Quentin Tarantino. So all those colors kind of represent something. It's what it is it's marvelous. It's genius writing is what it is. It's very creative, genius, you know, writing kind of thing. Was there a Mr. Green? We're in the Roanoke Tower. It's right here. Where the photo booth is. Hi. Is that the photo booth? Yeah, I have the Grubhub pickup. Okay. Let's see the name. There it is. So it doesn't really have a brand name on it. No, so I took some photos of it. This isn't like. This isn't built by a restaurant. I probably purchased it. I was wondering if there's a name on it. I just wanted to make sure that y'all did. Nope, you didn't. You kept it. It's right there. I thought y'all did. Oh, wow. Oh, okay, I thought maybe y'all just threw it away. That's pretty cool. So you actually put them up there and y'all keep them. That's really nice of y'all. Yeah, they still have my photo up there. Awesome. Photo's actually still up there, although I wore a mask in all 3 shots. So probably should have removed the mask for one of them. It was kind of, I was making a point about the mask, I guess. I don't know. I just didn't bother to lower the mask so you can only tell by my eyes that it's actually me up there. But I got a photocopy of it on my refrigerator, so it's a pretty cool place. Enzo's kept my photo. I was waiting for Waze. I'm really on the right path. I just switched one road. Just want to go by Enzo's. They actually kept my photo, so they have my photo there. I have a copy of it on my refrigerator, but it's just me in my green shirt. I'm wearing my mask, but I don't know. At that time, I was just being respectful with the mask, you know, going into like indoor places and stuff, especially a place that's small. But that's me with the mask on all 3 shots. You ever go to Enzo's in Roanoke? Actually, it's a really good music town. This is a really good town to bring a band through if you're a small band. There's a lot of venues to play here. It's like a kind of a country Deep Ellum kind of thing, a little more cleaner. There's a little kind of impulse that goes into me when I hear waves chirp at me, when I know where I'm going. I think it has a speaker on it. Little sign, our sign has a speaker on it. Sounds like a train. Going back to Reservoir Dogs, I don't know if I made any sense, but who cares? It's about the humanity of trying to make sense. Here we go. Quentin Tarantino. 10th film. Mr. Pink, nowadays, using all this technology, all modern day, everything. How many modern day stuff has Quentin done? Everything's been historical, from World War II to 1969, Charlie Manson, Hollywood with, was it something Booth? Some guy named Booth, Frank Booth or something, some Booth. No, Frank Booth is David Lynch. Something, what's his names? Brad Pitt's. Rick Dalton was the other guy, Leonardo DiCaprio. Leonardo DiCaprio was, what was the guy's name? Rick Dalton, yeah. Then you got the guy that carries his load. Okay, so Brad Pitt. Yeah, he carries his load. Okay, he does the stunts. That goes to 69. You've got, 70s, I guess, what Reservoir Dogs? What was it, 70s or 80s or something? Probably 70s, 1970s. I know he's probably done something modern. Then you got Hateful Eight, which was right after the Civil War. And then you got Django Unchained, which I didn't know he won a screenplay award for that. That one's probably around the same time the Civil War kind of stuff. So everything he's done is historical, you know? Bring it in now, Mr. Pink, right now. Oh, well, Kill Bill. I guess Kill Bill is pretty modern. I don't know, maybe 1980s. I don't know. I have to go back and watch Kill Bill to see when the era was exactly. Might say it or something. But what I'm trying to say is that there's probably one where it's modern. I can't think. But anyway, on a current day, Mr. Pink has the diamonds. It's been 20 years or so. And they got all this technology they can use and whatever. I don't know. Maybe they do another heist or something. Bring Harvey Keitel in. Oh, yeah. Harvey Keitel didn't get killed. But Tim Roth does. You know Tim Roth got killed. Maybe Harvey Keitel got shot up. Hey, gangsters, people have been shot like 10 times and lived and stuff, you know? You could bring those guys back. He's got like scars and everything. You have to talk to Keitel. I think it's a thing, man. I don't know. I'm sure he's right, and he's like getting out of his pool. Well, that'd be a tough one, though, modern day. That's a challenge, though. And so we're number 10. Hey, bring me in. A vlogger. You know, unknown vlogger for Mr. Green. I know all the maps. I'm the guy with the wheels. Hey, why not? That looks really cool at night. Whoops, I gotta get this all out of the way here so I can, okay, there we go. It looks really cool at night. Yeah, that's a cool road. What road? Blue Mound Road. This is Blue Mound Road. Here. But at night, it shows, it shows it right here. You can see the dimensions of the buildings right here. Isn't that cool? Anyway, I don't know. It looks pretty cool though. We do. There's a railroad track. It looks like the horizon right there, doesn't it? That goes through there. Looks like the horizon. You see the horizon right here. Isn't that cool? And we're gonna do two things right here. Someone revving up their engine. Boom, green right there. More green right there. Yeah, I think that producer's name was Lawrence Bender. .3. .9. Keller Haslett. You'll turn right. .4. That must be Keller Haslett. Bingo. I want to show you the Studebaker right here. You mind if I get a picture? It looks like it's in really good condition. 1957? Wow. It caught my eye. I was pulling in. So you taking it somewhere?
Yeah, I gotta take it over and pull it up.
Wow. Pretty cool.
He's done some work on me before.
Do you drive it around a lot?
I've got too many to drive one.
How many miles?
I've got too many cars.
Are you a collector?
Yeah, I love old cars.
What's your favorite?
I guess my favorite of that is, 53 Mercury I really like.
So you're okay with me, like, you're okay with me looking at this right here? Yeah, this looks brand new. Does anybody tell you this looks brand new? That's amazing. What did you do to make it look this way?
I pretty well bought it like that. Had a lot of mechanical problems.
But how did you keep it, you know, where
Keep it inside.
you kept it in a garage? It doesn't look like the elements have gotten to it. Wow. I've seen some good mint conditions. This is definitely one of the best. For 1957?
Yeah.
That's a very old vehicle.
Yeah. That's the newest one I got.
Wow, that's impressive. I like the interior too. It's kind of like got a simple, you know, the old school simple style. Pretty cool. Right, so as long as you pay at the pump at 7-Eleven, I don't know where I'm at, I'm somewhere in the middle of Texas. You pay at the pump, you save 10 cents. I noticed right here, this is Life Point, there's a few crosses on this church that you would see, probably more so than a normal church. When we're asking to join online worship. Kind of a nice neighborhood out in the middle of nowhere, and there's a star that's upside down in the ground, and the sign says North Star. So I don't know where that is, but that's the complex. And I guess the neighborhood is known as North Star, Texas, I guess. I don't know if that's the city's name or just the development. Oh man, not too far from Ramhorn Hill. I thought about maybe going to Marfa, maybe. I mean, Jordan went there. I thought it'd be a pretty cool place to vlog, seeing where James Dean did The Giant. We are coming up here on some railroad tracks. There's the railroad right there. This one's kind of a quick, important vlog, because this is kind of some heavy vlogs. I know I talk a lot about cinema and stuff, but this is more about family and abuse. And I don't want to get into a lot of the details, but I do want to talk about abuse and what can happen in a family. And this is my personal experience of being abused as a child, vocally abused, sexually vocally abused by my stepmom. So it's sexual vocal. Mental abuse by my father, big time mental abuse, and physical abuse. Especially my sister, she was very physically abused by my father. It was very abusive. Now, there is abuse in the South. We're all aware of that. Now, I apologize, Dad. It's not respectful for me to tell everyone that you abused me, but this will help others. And just as Christ laid his body down on the cross and died so that we could live, we all carry that cross. So you understand why. We all carry his cross. There's pain and there's shame, right? He carried the shame of the world. He carried the sin of the world. My stepdad wasn't, I don't think, is mentally abusive, but did, have a subscription to certain magazines, like a lot of men did. My mom was probably the only good parent. My mom was very sacrificial. She always put my sister and I first when we were younger. And my mom my mom always put me first. My dad didn't. My dad doesn't care. Listen, let me tell you, my dad, through all my years of college, he only gave me gifts during Christmas time. But there was no help with tuition. There was no help. There was mostly just him basically, in a way, making fun of me. So I learned to be kind of the entertainer. But my dad always wanted what he wanted. My dad always put his self first. My father always put his own self first. We were never first. Right? Now, I don't know about my stepbrother. I don't know how he treated him, because I left when I was 15 in a crying situation where my stepbrother was very little, and they were making him kind of cry. I didn't want to be there anymore, and I left and chose to live with my mother. But there's abuse in the South. It's there. It's in other families. And if you're being abused, go to a hotline. Get in touch with somebody. Make someone call CPS. Stop the abuse. Children are very delicate. And I don't mean like, no kid has the right to be physically harmed or mentally tortured using, no kid should have to hear sexual vocal stuff. I'm not gonna say commands, it wasn't that kinky, but sexual things, or even joking. You shouldn't even joke about it, because the enemy, and when I mean the enemy, I mean the devil, because I went to church today, and the devil's not always talked about. God is the one that's the focus in church. But as Christians, we do believe the devil is real, but we also believe that Christ reigns over everything. But here's the thing: you don't use sexual stuff with kids, like vocal sexual stuff. I mean, words that are sexual with kids, and taunt them, because the enemy wants to get at you sexually, because there's no other way he can really hurt you. Remember, the enemy wants to rob you. He wants to kill you, and he wants to destroy your bloodline. What that means is that he wants to first steal from you. It can be anything. It could be something that you admire. Second, he wants to kill you. He wants you to die. And thirdly, he doesn't want you to produce. He doesn't want you to have a family. If you find yourself an older person by yourself, it could be because you were abused as a child, and the enemy was allowed to infiltrate into your family through drugs, through money and power, all kinds of stuff. So you want to stop that. Call CPS, call hotline. Make sure that you're not, if you're a kid, that you're not being abused. Now, most of my stuff is for adults, but it doesn't mean that maybe someday certain kids would be able to grow up and understand it, But abuse is horrible in the South. It's horrible. So the South Lake area is actually very, very beautiful. If you ever come here, look around. And they have got I would say, that is amazing. Very good eyes for magnolia trees here in the South. There's a lot of them. That's all I've seen all day, were these magnolia trees, and the willows too. But they have an eye for what to put in the front yard. I would say far better than maybe even Beverly Hills at times. I have been through Beverly Hills, and it is impressive, the palm trees and all the houses and stuff. It's very pretty, but this is no joke. I mean, these are just average. This is just an average neighborhood. I mean, if you're in the South Lake area, then you're probably in one of the nicest areas in Texas, and maybe even the world. I mean, this isn't half of it. This is just a moderate kind of looking around. And also Christmas time, it's like a great place to go through here. I think I took my 3 kids and my second wife through here for Christmas times quite a bit. I'm gonna do like a little kind of Jim Jarmusch pan thing, although Jim Jarmusch would be using the freaking ghetto. And most of these houses are not even an asset. They're just where they live. Cool collie. Actually, there's a couple of collies. The best preparation for tomorrow is doing your best today. Isn't that something? Isn't that something? Hear the engine start back up on that Mercedes. Those are actually cool. It's like the new skateboarders. It's like Back to the Future right there. You can see them. They're on these little, they have like brake lights. It's pretty crazy because they're really popular. They're like little scooters you stand on. They have like a little wheel in the engine. You can move around on them. I always just like regular skateboarding, you know. I was like Die Hard, but they're just on this little thing that just, you know, moves around. It's kind of balance, I guess. This area, Zone 202 is what I call it. It's got a really cool little, I don't know, Los Angeles kind of feel. But airplanes during the day, especially like around like maybe 4 or 5, they'll come down really low, like right across here. And that's when I was vlogging earlier the other day about Grapevine, Tinseltown was right over this direction, over here. I mean, me coming out of my teenage years, going into my 20s, and then eventually my 30s and 40s, I never got the idea out of my head that I actually wanted to be, or I want to be, you know, a movie star. And the thing is that, or even, you know, I mean, if you say rock star, I mean, you know, I'm not gonna say that. That seemed to be a rock star seems way unrealistic, you know. But I thought somehow I'd land some work, you know, kind of how Cooper did, because Cooper landed a small work in Alias, and then he worked his way up, and then next thing you know, he's American Sniper, he's working with Clint Eastwood, he's iconic, and everybody knows who he is. But I guess, you know, when you go tell like a relative, I want to plan to be a movie star, you know, they kind of call you crazy. Now, as a vlogger, that's what I am, you know. I don't have to say I want to be a vlogger. I'm a vlogger. I'm vlogging right now. But when you look at other people's careers, everybody from Danny DeVito to Brad Pitt, to Paul Rudd, to Ethan McGregor, to Jack Nicholson, to Marlon Brando, all the way to Gary Sinise to Gary Oldman. You know, I don't know really what to say, but I'm sure there was probably doubts in their mind. And it's kind of a crazy thing to think of, like, why am I doing this stage play? Or why am I doing this vlog? And I don't know what it leads to, you know. For just some reason, I pick the thing up and I start doing it. But I don't know. It was like one time I got a hold of my dad and he said, you have a better chance of winning the lottery. You know, he's been kind of cruel with me on a lot of things. A better chance than winning the lottery. I think one thing I want to say is that a lot of stars, like I say, like Matt Damon and other stars like that, they've had parents that were school teachers. It's a cool plane. That's probably because teachers say, you know, like never give up kind of thing. There must be some kind of inciting incident in my life that's going to be on an airplane, because I am very much obsessed, there goes ways, with airplanes. I can tell you this for sure. Comes another car, just burning that gas, And I can tell you this for sure. That video that's been withheld for 2 years of Green being beat by those officers and saying, "I'm your brother," begging for his life, which he was shown no compassion and died. That video is going to change the world. I promise you. That video of that black man being beaten by those Southern officers will change the world. 46 minutes has not even been reviewed by CNN. They haven't even seen all of it yet. And we're about to see the ultimate abuse, which happened 2 years ago, before Floyd. And that is going to change everything on how we see everything. Because we are seeing people of authority that have abused other people. Let me tell you something. I have been abused by authority of people in the church. TPSS, the Please Subscribe show, will change all churches all around the world. Because you're looking at the results of abuse from people of higher power in the church. Martin Luther, I'm not talking about Martin Luther King Jr., but I'm talking about Martin Luther, went through a divorce because of abuse of power. We're going to reconstruct how we look at authority in this country. It's going to change the world. One day, I promise, because I'm a hot sauce fan, if I make it, I will come back with my homemade hot sauce and present it at the Spice Fest at ICC, Irving Convention Center.